Who is he?
He exists in a world beyond your world.
Thanks a lot.
So how do I find him? You don't find him. He finds you.
Ever heard of Operation Swordfish?
Nope.
It's a sweet deal. $9.5 billion. Do you have any idea of how much money that is? Gabriel's a patriot of sorts.
I think that you think I'm a bank robber. The truth is that I'm worse.
I have been told that the best crackers in the world can do this in 60 minutes. I need someone who can do it in 60 seconds. You're kidding. Go!
You don't shut me up, I'll just talk about John all day, so...
Stan! What happened, Stan?
More buttons, go more!
Marco, let's give him some incentive.
Who are you supposed to be?
I'm Ginger. I'm not what you think I am. The nudity thing scared me to death.
There was one word on the page, just said, kaboom.
Hold on!
It's like being a big kid with the best toys.
I love the process of making movies. I mean, I always do.
Three, two, one. Too bad, you gotta die.
No, wait!
Not everything ends the way you think it should. Oh, boy. You know the problem with Hollywood is? They make unbelievable, unremarkable. There's only a few movies I've ever done where I knew immediately. The rest I think I had to work up to, meaning, how would I do this? No, it's easy to pick apart bad acting, short-sighted directing, and the purely moronic stringing together of words that many of the studios term as prose. No, I'm talking about the lack of realism. Realism. Not a pervasive element in today's modern American cinematic vision. The first 3-4 pages captured me and said, okay, I really want to make the rest of this movie work because of that opening dialogue. I thought it was fabulous.
Bad guy can't win. It's a morality tale. One way or the other, he's got to go down.
Well, life is stranger than fiction sometimes.
I never really want to tell John this, but of course I grew up watching his movies, you know. When Pulp Fiction came out and Get Shorty, I was then studying and becoming a professional actor, and he was my idol again.
How did you keep a straight face? I have no idea.
Let's go again, guys.
Move. I won't say it again. All you get your clues from in a script is from what is written on the page, and then you take those clues and you connect them to other dots in the movie to make other things happen. It was a different take, I thought, on this kind of action film. What countries will harbor terrorists when they realize the consequences of what I'll do? Did you know that I can buy nuclear warheads in Minsk for $40 million each? Hell, I buy half a dozen and even get a discount.
Gabriel isn't just a bad guy. I mean, he's not the bad guy or the baddest guy who wears the blackest hat, you know?
I've changed my identity so many times, I don't even know who I am anymore. How could you turn on me when we were so close to our goal?
You did this to yourself.
That, I think, is what's interesting about him, is he's a very sort of multi-dimensional character who keeps unraveling. And the more you find out about him, I think your perspective on him changes.
I flew 1,500 miles for this meeting. How about we get to the point?
No, you actually flew 1,500 miles for $100,000, but that's not the point. Helga, meet Stanley.
When we decided to go after Travolta, I thought he was perfect. I thought, geez, if he doesn't do this, who in the hell are we going to get to do this?
Look, you want something from me and I want something from you. DOD, D-base, 128-bit encryption. What do you think? Impossible?
Well, nothing's impossible.
Good. So it can be done? Maybe slide in a Trojan horse hiding a worm?
Something like that. Is this an interview?
Sort of. Marco.
There aren't that many people who sort of can play that sort of charming, suave, stab you in the back, I'll manipulate you, I'm Casanova, I'm, Patton.
3, 2, 1. Too bad, you gotta die.
No, wait! Gabriel's the master puppeteer. He's whatever you want him to be.
We wanted to make him kind of like more of a European-looking character. He is being someone else. He is undercover, kind of. The suits, the haircut, and this choice, there was this look that some European international playboy types, that jet set group, I mean, certainly some actors have had.
Oh, yeah, that's him.
And we all knew that it was the character.
He's just got that coolness about him, you know, and here's a character that knows exactly what's going on 5 steps ahead of anyone else.
Have you ever heard of Harry Houdini? Well, he wasn't like today's magicians who are only interested in television ratings. He was an artist. He could make an elephant disappear in the middle of a theater filled with people. And do you know how he did that? Misdirection.
The idea of deception in this movie starts really with my character not being who he appears to be. I'm playing Gabriel Shears, but probably he's Joe Hardy of the ex-CIA.
Is that too high? How's it look, Dom? Good.
What's going on?
We've got a tail. Hold on.
This movie goes for broke.
Good one! Check the gate!
I'm now fully registered as a stunt driver and doing 90s, reverse 180s, back things 130 miles an hour and losing control of the car.
Yeah, it's kind of a fun ride.
You either shoot me or tell me why you're wearing that wire.
Can't do that. Each person in this movie is on sort of a solo journey. You know, they each are in it for very different reasons. And I think the beauty of it for me is at the end of the day, hopefully you will see that.
Who are you, Ginger?
I can't tell you.
She's the ultimate manipulator, that character. She turns on a dime and she is amazing at it. And she's sexy, and she's funny, and she's deadly serious. She can just change like that.
I thought you were Gabriel's.
I'm not what you think I am.
Ginger?
Ginger, you don't really know, but you get a feeling that there's something going on with Ginger that's really important to her. You surprised that a girl with an IQ over 70 can give you a hard-on? Although she's sexy and she's supposed to be a femme fatale, I wanted to make her human, but she's also very smart. She's very computer savvy, and that was really important. I thought, like, if I'm going to be topless, at least let me, know something.
That part of the movie's over. Never got to worry about that again.
Never, until it comes out for every day for the rest of my life. Someone the NSA once listed as the most dangerous hacker in America sure don't look like much.
Stanley's no angel. He never was an angel. Even if he's kind of politically minded and a bit of a Robin Hood, he's got a past which is probably not what you consider school prefect material,
You're a felon. You work a dead-end job. And you desperately want to get your daughter back. Gabriel is your only shot.
This particular movie was a very unique experience. So it was, I think I was more excited than usual because there were things about it that are really fresh.
In the 1950s, J. Edgar Hoover started a secret organization, a kind of personal black ops. This was to protect the freedoms of this country at all costs.
I don't care about any of this. All I care about is my daughter.
I'm talking about your daughter. I'm talking about you and your daughter and 200 million other Americans who take their freedoms for granted.
I always kind of say that, when I read a script that I want to see, that's the kind of movie that I want to make.
So you and your band of lunatics are really stealing all this money just to protect me. Thank you.
That's right, Stanley. Because wars cost money.
You end up here, and Jonathan, you can go to center stage, who are we at war with? And then you see it, and the camera goes from here, ooh, and we reveal the whole thing.
Dominic Senna, who's the director of the picture, just did Gone in 60 Seconds, really was very interested in creating a unique feel for the movie and a unique look for the movie. And it has all that going for it.
Cut! Good one!
We
we agreed ahead of time that it should be this sort of a good-looking, you know, upscale sort of Euro fashion-looking movie. You know, that people look good and they smell good. They're in interesting-looking places. So we just took that as our cue. You know.
Just as you fire, Donald takes you down the next second. You know, like a beat too late.
If you have great action producer, great action director, wonderful actors that you can work with like Hugh Jackman and Halle Berry, then you have something that will take off.
God, it's been years since I've used one of these. You want me to shoot the camera? Oh, sorry.
And with Don Cheadle and Sam Shepard and Vinnie Jones, it's sort of all come together to have really strong players.
Hugh is an Aussie, so you know you have to give him a break right off the bat.
Danger, danger, danger.
He's illiterate. That makes it tough. So there's a lot of cue cards around the set, and people, you know, shout, you know, trying to say the lines to him quietly. He's always got the prompter. He's got like that ear prompter thing. And, you know, he does a great Wolverine impression. I don't think he's going to be too good in this film.
If I knew you were coming, I might have cleaned up a little.
I've been lucky. This is my fourth movie that I've done, and the previous three have all gone to #1, so it hasn't been a bad start, really.
It was a really incredible group of players who came together that were all really perfect for what we were doing. It's hard for me not to get excited.
Never in any of his movies, including The Matrix to Come, or fabulous. Joel is one of the best producers in the business. John and I were just comparing notes on that.
All the goodies that come with a big Joel Silver action movie. Sex, violence, and rock and roll. You get it.
There are two specific challenges in the film that are exciting for me, at least. One involves what's known as a still array, where we have a couple of hundred cameras wrapped around an intersection photographing a rather extensive event, the explosion that's happening out in the intersection. We can photograph the explosion itself at 1,000 frames per second and watch it physically expand, and then photograph cars that are flying through the air, the stunt people, and other components such as shattering glass, so that you photograph these at all their appropriate speeds, and then when you layer them all up, they all work together as kind of a ballet.
The original ending took place at an airport where he went where he said he was going to go, and then there's sort of a shootout, and it seemed like it should be smarter. And then we just said, well, where the hell do we go, and what do we do now? We're in a bus.
I thought we were going to the airport.
Misdirection, Stan.
Jeff Mann, my production designer, I think, he said, well, what if there's some big chopper or something? And you go, big chopper? And you go, oh, wait a minute, yeah.
Control, be advised that this is now an aerial pursuit.
Whoa, well, why don't we sever the cables? You know, you go, oh, okay, yeah, and why don't we crash it through a sign? And then why don't we plow through a building? And we're going, and nobody will ever give us permission. Nobody's this nuts. And they said yes. If you stand underneath that Sky Crane helicopter, if it's, say, 50 feet above you, it'll pound you right into the tarmac. It'll kill you. Boom. It's so powerful. The minute it gets airborne to the time it approaches the final building, which is quite a few shots and quite a long sequence, was done in one shooting day.
Well, yeah, in the perfect world, we see the reflection going, and when he banks, he goes over the lens. So we see the undercarriage over the lens.
No one could be there. So we had to shut down the street completely, and then we had to repopulate it with extras.
All right, background action. Tasting. It's on a helicopter. It's coming at you.
You know, so it was a major undertaking. We had like 12 camera crews when they were hopscotching. Yeah, you have 2 hours here, and then you got to get out of there because the lady who lives in the high-rise is called the mayor. And so they were just constantly moving ahead and getting into position. It was pretty insane. I don't know how he pulled it off.
We just keep trying to make them better and make them, you know, exciting and thrilling and, you know, give people a real wild ride. And if we did that, then we've done our job.
It's not going to end like this. Ah, come on, Stan. Not everything ends the way you think it should. Besides, audiences love happy endings.
Hey, what are you doing? Where are you taking this thing?
You see Sugarland Express?
What are we doing, guys?
Didn't like the way it ended.
I think what was interesting was it was misdirection, and we'd never seen it before. And again, that was sort of part of the key. You know, okay, Joel Silver's made a lot of action movies. A lot of people have made action movies. What's an ending we haven't seen? Good luck.
It's a big deal. I mean, if you're taking a bus and you're picking it up on cables and taking it through downtown LA, you know, you have to plan it out and do it properly, and we got it all cleared.
It took hundreds of PAs and I don't know how many cops, legions of cops, to just shut down all the streets. If anything happened, you know, it was a runaway van or some van got through the intersection and came upon this bus.
Nobody's looking to create an accident, naturally. And that's when we cross over and get into the visual effects side of it. Well, where they can't go is where we pick it up.
Holy shit!
The bus slams into an office tower, takes out some furniture off the 30th floor, and it breaks the cables to hold the back of the bus so it drops suddenly as it pulls up free of the building. All the occupants of the bus wind up getting weightless and wind up hanging, dangling from seats, pretty much trying not to fall out of the bus.
We've got a hangar down in Los Angeles, you know, one of these aircraft hangars that's fairly huge, and they're rigging the bus to hang from a couple of cranes and to swing and do all the things that we want it to do. And that's all rigged against a very large blue screen environment. It'll be a collaboration with the stunts and the special effects team.
And action!
Tell him to turn right.
Turn right.
Now!
Turn right.
Now!
He doesn't know if he can make it.
Tell him to climb!
Climb, goddammit!
And we're rising, and we just get over the roof.
Shit!
Sign!
Down! Everybody down! Drop!
And cut! Good! Oh boy. Come on, Joe.
There are about 18 cast and stunts in the bus. In this shot, we'll probably have 5 or 6 crew members. We're doing close-ups of John Travolta hanging at the very top of the bus. So below him, we'll see the rest of the hostages and Gabriel's crew hanging on. And so just had to, you know, find camera positions and to discuss the action and how far we'd take Travolta hanging, how far Vinny would fall. You know, does Hugh Jackman fall in this shot or the next shot? It's very tough. You're working in an elevator shaft with seats. There's not a lot of room. It's like we've worked a long time trying to figure out actually how to do the falls down the bus, you know, and not, you know, break your leg on a steel pipe. And there's about 80 of them in there.
Ready and action! Lower the bus right away.
It's a kind of a two-step thing. When the bus first drops out, we'll see everybody get weightless. People will rise up out of their seats. Several people will fall down over the tops of the seats toward the end of the bus. Vinnie Jones will fall from the front, sliding down the center, grab onto somebody and try and save himself. Hugh Jackman has to drop about 6 feet down the bus, grab on and kick Vinny off of the hostage he's hanging onto. And kick. Right, and then now Matt, your kick has to go farther to the right. Vinny will fall the length of the bus. Hit the back window, go out the window. But he's caught another hostage, and they both go out the window, so Vinny's trying to climb up that guy. And then Vinny will fall. Good. Is he okay? We'll wind up doing the fall, I'd say at least 4 times to get all the coverage for it. Maybe you can even be crouched so you can get a little push. Just run you to the back of the bus. Act like you're falling.
Whip! Background!
All right, good. Let's do one more room. By the time we get the shot, we will spend probably a full week rehearsing it and rigging it just to do the one fall.
Stops your blood, this.
Oh, it does.
Stops the circulation.
Definitely be a little bit painful.
but better tight when you're in the air than loose, or you'd really be uncomfortable.
Yeah. One of the stunt guys said to me this morning, well, that's why you get paid the big bucks. I said, yeah, but I'm not on the big bucks. Stop pulling me about.
Do not attempt this at home alone.
We want to replace it in 10.
Call your friends, have a party, and then do it.
And when you bend your knees, you'll flip. There you go.
Now you even more and you'll drop.
Well, bring your knees up. See.
Nice.
It's perfect.
Nice.
So what it'll look like is that you go from hanging to just being face up, looking at the bus. Above you, falling away. Bring the ladder back. I think we need to.
When we hear drop, these guys need to let their lines go so they separate.
How's that feel?
It's great, apart from my eyes popping out my head. It's great.
A big deal, a big logistical deal.
It took so long to get the permits to shoot that sequence that because of time constraints, we actually had to shoot the interior bus sequence, all those shots, reactions, before we shot the exteriors. So what my visual effects supervisor did was he actually plotted the downtown area of Los Angeles on a computer. Every building, every parking lot and structure, and we actually created and conceived of the aerial sequence on the computer. We imagined the angles and determined which buildings, which storefronts, which windows, which rooftops, which alleys, what floor of the building we had to be in, and what focal length lens we needed to use. And we plotted the entire thing, created the shots, and assembled the entire sequence. We watched all of the shots and it looked great. And it's amazing. If you look at the pre-visualization that was built on a computer and many of the shots, they are incredibly close.
It's just a good big set piece that's fun and exciting. And I think it's something that is really cool.
I take a great deal of pleasure in doing things that just haven't been done before, pushing the envelope, taking you to places you've never been, or creating shots that you just could not get in a normal fashion. I really enjoy that challenge, and that's what keeps me fired up.